Hi, today I'm going to show you some of the things that you can do in Tallow. Tallow is an open source game backend for managing players, leaderboards, stats, authentication, and so much more. But today we're going to keep it really simple and just go into a few of the basics around Tallow. So as you can see, I'm in my dashboard here for my game Tossed and Found that I made for Lumindaria last month. As you can see, I can see how many new players there are, how many new events have been tracked, I can see some of the groups that I created earlier, and also get a nice overview of all the stats across all of my players playing my game. If I come into my game here, let's say I want to know how many people are dying to spikes. You can see I've got a very simple game with a character, with an enemy, and some spikes. And this is how you die to the spikes. Very simple, right? So how do we track this in Tallow? Well, the first thing we need to do is to identify who the player is. And we're using this temp username service and generate identifier function. Essentially, this is a guest user. We don't know who this player is until they've entered a name into the leaderboard. So we're just going to use this for now. Once I've identified the player, I can go in and track the stat. So using tallow.stats.track and then using the internal name of the stat that I created earlier in the dashboard, this will all nicely pull through. So let's go into the dashboard now. Let's go to the players. Let's pick this most recent player and then let's go into their stats. As you can see, they've got a spike death. So we've successfully managed to track that. And because this is a global stat, that means that all of these stats down here will also update whenever things change for the player. Let's take another example. What about levels completed? We've already got this global stat here, so you know that I'm tracking this with tallow.stats.track. But I think we can do a bit better with this. If we come into the code base here, you can see I've got this change scene function, and this gets called whenever the player goes to a new level. So here's the tallow.stats.track. But we could also use events. Events are product analytics, but for your game, essentially. You send through an event name, and you can send in some metadata as well. We're using this tallow.events.flush function to instantly send our new event to the backend. Otherwise, it will get queued up ready to go when there's enough events to send. You'll also see here we've got this tallow.currentPlayer.setProp. Props are a way of setting arbitrary data on a player that persists through sessions. So whenever we identify our player again, we know that their current level is this, and they can take in any sort of arbitrary key value pairs. Let's go back to the game and let's complete the level. I'm going to jump on this guy and we're through. Now let's go back to the dashboard. As you can see, the levels completed have updated, so that's good. We can go in, find our new player, and look at their events. So you can see level completed here. It contains level 1 because we're starting from 0, and it only took me 2 seconds to complete. If I then come in and look at the props, you can see I've got a bunch of different props here already. One is dev build, and Tallow is really good at already knowing when you're playing locally or you're playing a build that has debug mode options on, and it'll pull that through for you so you can filter out those players in your dashboard. We can also pull in a bunch of different stuff about the current user, like their OS and their window size. But the interesting thing here is the current level prop that we sent through earlier. As you can see, it's set to 1 as expected. I can also add new props to the player. So for example, I could give them some health, and I could delete their current level. And also, best of all, I can reset any of the changes that I made as well. So as you can see, Tallow makes it really easy to manage your game from the browser and also has some really powerful APIs for Godot and Unity. And that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned a lot about Tallow. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Cheers. Bye.